The Orni has come to the party, ladies and gentlemen. David Ornstein is talking about something we've been entertaining for a little bit. So let's talk about this, baby.
All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin.
All right, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. Breaking news for today. David Ornstein, exclusive. Chelsea considering Cristiano Ronaldo move. Man United currently saying not for sale, but Chelsea monitoring and not ruling out. Monitoring, I love that word, monitoring. Mendes talks continue. Boehly, Eghbali intrigued by idea. Tuchel admires 37-year-old admires. That's another key word. 37-year-old, but unclear if he would approve. This is from Athletic. I've been telling you guys that when David Ornstein and Matt Law, when they're talking about this particular scenario or any of the transfer news, you better take it seriously. And we've done a live stream within the last 12 hours, and previously we've been talking about it. On a short-term deal, don't be surprised if this happens. Cristiano Ronaldo does not want to be at Man United. There is no way he is playing Europa League. There is no way he trains that hard on a day-to-day basis to maintain that physical stature that he has to play Europa League whilst his arch rival, arch nemesis Messi does his thing in Champions League night. So not many teams out there that can give him Champions League at the moment. Realistically, from the Premier League point of view, there's no other Premier League teams that's in for him. From Italy, I highly doubt he's going to go back to that scenario. PSG has ruled themselves out with all the issues that they've already got with Neymar, Mbappe, Messi. They've already got quite a lot of players, so I don't think there's going to be any movement there. Bayern Munich could be an opportunity, but wages will be a bit of an issue. Undoubtedly, wages will be an issue for us. But Cristiano Ronaldo will have to come to the party as well. He'll have to think about compromising a little bit in terms of his wages. From our perspective, it kind of makes sense for a short term. This is what I've been saying. I'm not saying go out there and give Cristiano Ronaldo a 5-year contract at the age of 37, who's going to be 38, I believe, in February next year. No way you're going to do that. And I don't think Cristiano Ronaldo probably thinks about it in that scenario either, because he could possibly think about going to Sporting Lisbon down the track. He could possibly think about doing MLS down the track. There's no way he's going to be looking at a 5-year contract, right? But on a short-term situation, knowing we've let go of Romelu Lukaku on loan, and mind you, Inter's bearing all the wages for Lukaku, and Lukaku's taken a pay cut. So we are saving from that perspective 325k. There's talks about Timo Werner possibly moving on as well. So we are possibly looking into going into next season with Armando Broja and Kai Havertz. We'll talk about Armando Broja as well, which is kind of heating up, and I think something may be happening there because of all these kind of news that's gone around. But I am not confident moving into a new season with Havertz and Broja up top only. I would have been okay had we got one of Rafinha or Dembele, but the fact that those two players are not coming in and it's only Sterling at the moment, that we are going to be undercooked for next season. We are going to be massively undercooked. And from that standpoint, I think someone like Cristiano Ronaldo would be perfect for a short-term solution. Yes, there are risks. There's no doubt about that. There's massive risks. But before we get to the risks, 18 Premier League goals Cristiano Ronaldo has scored for Man United, one of the worst Man United teams you can ever imagine last season. He scored 18 Premier League goals, 24 in all club competition. He was only behind Mo Salah and Son in terms of top goal scorers in the Premier League. This is incredible. He's an immense figurehead. He's a leader. He's a winner. His mentality. People are getting worried that he's going to be another one of those Lukaku situations. Don't kid yourself. This guy is not a Lukaku in terms of mentality. He's not going to sob around the corner. He's not going to create chaos in terms of having an interview all by himself and naming and shaming Chelsea Football Club. Yes, Cristiano did an interview as well, but it was all sanctioned. But he was talking about how Man United should be challenging. We've just won the Champions League a couple of seasons ago. So, and we're not in Man United's situation where we haven't won anything. We've won things here and there in recent times: Champions League, Europa League. Prior to that, under Antonio Conte, Premier League, FA Cup as well. So, look, From Cristiano's point of view, he wants a team that can give him Champions League football. We are there at the moment. And we're not going to be a Mickey Mouse team in the Premier League either. Sure, we're not going to be challenging for the league, but we are going to be in much better place than Man United. So there's no denying why he wants to leave Man United. And there's also no denying that there is clear links that we could possibly go for someone like Cristiano Ronaldo. Todd Boehly went to a meeting last week with George Mendes to talk about this scenario as well, along with many other things. So look, I see quite a lot of positives. We're going to touch on the negatives and the risks. There's a really good thread by CFC Central. Sam, you guys would have known, he came to the channel. But the other positive is the marketing. He's a global brand, Cristiano Ronaldo. The amount of fans he has worldwide is not funny. There's literally fans that move around with him to every club. He would kill it. Stadiums would be full. There is no doubt about that. In terms of shirt sales, merchandise sales, sponsorships. You think someone like Ronaldo coming into Chelsea Football Club, there won't be companies lining themselves up to get sponsorships with Chelsea Football Club? You're kidding yourself. That would be, and the global sense, the image, the social media sort of reach that this guy has is unbelievable. And Todd Boehly talks about how he wants to take Chelsea Football Club to a global level. This guy, along with Neymar, how we talked about, I'm still interested. I don't think both will happen, but can you imagine if both happened in Stamford Bridge? I think both would be detrimental, but one is someone we can accommodate. And we're going to talk about the negatives very soon because people are worried that how's he going to press, how's he going to fit into Thomas Tuchel's style, so we'll get to that. Breaking, Chelsea considering Cristiano Ronaldo move, Todd Boehly and Baghdad Eghbali intrigued by idea, but it's not yet clear if Tuchel will approve. Because at the end of the day, Thomas Tuchel is the one who's running the show at the moment in terms of transfer market. Talks between Todd Boehly and Mendes have continued. It's continued. So it's not just last week, the meeting. It's since then it's continued. Tuchel's blessing would be key, and any conversation between Tuchel and Ronaldo on how he might fit into the style of play. This is from David Ornstein. Further on goes to say, Todd Boehly is okay to ask Thomas Tuchel if he wants Ronaldo at Chelsea and will not move for him unless he gets the green light. Chelsea won 2 signings wrapped up before squad flyout for USA. Chelsea decided against making an offer to Christian Eriksen. By the way, Christian Eriksen has gone to Man United, which is I think it's a pretty decent signing on a free. Do you know what I mean? Another creative player, a very industrious creative player as well. Something that adds on top of Bruno Fernandes and Jadon Sancho and whatnot. So, but it's just not going to be enough for Cristiano Ronaldo to stay. Sources have told ESPN Cristiano Ronaldo would be open to joining Chelsea FC. Some sources at the club doubt whether Tuchel is sold on the idea of Ronaldo. Tuchel is keen for Chelsea to enter the Lewandowski race should he show desire to come to England. Look, we've talked about Lewandowski. I think he would be 100% the ideal replacement up front for Romelu Lukaku. By far, he would be greater than Romelu Lukaku. Even Cristiano Ronaldo is by far superior striker to Romelu Lukaku. But convince this guy not to go to Barcelona. Just convince him because he's going to Barcelona. He wants Barcelona, much like Rafinha. He only wants Barcelona. So not going to stand here and try and convince a player that don't want to be here. Whereas Cristiano Ronaldo, perhaps he could entertain this. As I said, let's have a look at this particular CFC Central thread, which talks about the risk. And let's really try and break this down because there are some risks in getting Cristiano Ronaldo. There's no doubt about that. Wages is an issue as well, but I've got a theory on that, and I want to see what you guys have to say about this. When Ronaldo re-signed for Man United, the club's share price increased by 9.8% in a day. Do you know how ridiculous that is? Almost 10% in a day, share prices. That's phenomenal. At one point in the time during that day, United's value had risen by £212 million on the day. United also broke the record for the single most liked Instagram post by any sports team ever at 12.9 million. For a conglomerate of business people, those numbers speak louder than any potential impact on the pitch. With Ronaldo comes an enormous fan base with no lifelong affiliation to any club and social media overdrive. The year before Ronaldo arrived at Juve, Dybala scored 22 goals, assisted 5. So remember this, the year before Ronaldo arrived at Juve, Dybala scored 22 goals and 5 assists in just 26 starts. The next season, with Ronaldo in the side, he scored 5 and assisted 4 in 24. So he's declined massively. The year before joining United, Fernandes had 18 goals, 15 assists in 35 starts. He had 10 goals, 5 assists in 35 with Ronaldo. Once again, Fernandes has declined as well. While his own numbers post-30 are stellar, Ronaldo demands subservience. Now, look, let's talk a little bit about this, Dybala and Fernandes. Who in our team right now is producing numbers like Dybala and Fernandes? So we don't have a particular player right now that is blowing up the charts that we are worried if someone like Ronaldo comes in, they will impact and affect their game. We literally have no one out there. Our attackers don't score goals. So if Ronaldo comes in and he has a negative impact on Pulisic, what's his numbers are going to go down from 6 goals to 3 goals? Like, do you know what I mean? Mason Mount, perhaps, but Mason Mount, I would like him to start playing more in midfield. I think him there is going to be a lot more better for us in terms of work rate, in terms of tenacity, and he can slowly but surely build up on that creativity side as well from midfield. I really don't think Mason Mount is an inside forward where you need to be a supreme creator. He's a creator in a sense, no doubt about that. We've seen Mason Mount produce some good assists, but he ain't in a supreme level. So I don't think it will impact Mason Mount's game. I think he'll make him go to midfield, and it will only improve them. And similarly, Raheem Sterling, we're very close to getting Raheem Sterling. It's almost done. This is one we can actually put our hand on our hearts and say this is done. Someone like Raheem Sterling will benefit a lot with a player like Cristiano Ronaldo up front. Even Havertz just behind them as well. We could possibly, if we do move to a 4-3-3, you could have Mason in midfield. You can have Kai Havertz and Sterling just behind Ronaldo. It could just work. And it all comes down to how Thomas Tuchel adjusts to it as well. And we're going to get to that. He pressed less often than Lukaku last season, had 0.07 interceptions and 0.3 tackles per game, winning back possession 0.5 times out of 90. Better players dull their own luster by doing the dirty work to make him shine, while it is tempting to dream about a Thiago Silva. Look, I'll just pause on that. Better players dull their own luster by doing the dirty work to make him shine. What is wrong with that? What is wrong with that? There is no issues if the team works hard so that you get the best out of Cristiano Ronaldo. As I said, 18 Premier League goals in one of the worst Man United teams. He single-handedly dragged Man United to the second round of the Champions League when Man United simply didn't deserve it. Simply didn't deserve it. This is what I was saying about Romelu Lukaku last season as well. As much as we hated him in terms of what he was doing off the field and whatnot, but had we at a certain point played in a manner which was more conducive to him, to his strength, maybe, just maybe, we could have been in a, we could have got a lot more out of him. Similarly with Cristiano, he's a lethal weapon up front. I don't want Cristiano Ronaldo to run around like a headless chicken. Do you know what I mean? I want him to be a fox in the box, a proper fox in the box. Us holding most of the possession. We talk about pressing. If we control matches 65 to 70% of the time, if we have the ball, what pressing do we need to do 30% of the time? We are not going to play a particular brand of football where the opposition has most of the ball and all we're doing is pressing. Yeah, counter-pressing, sure. Counter-pressing doesn't only have to rely on Cristiano Ronaldo. You create a cohesive counter-press. It's not always dependent on one. Yes, it could get broken down if one isn't working, but I'd honestly be baffled if someone like Cristiano Ronaldo, if he sat down with Thomas Tuchel and they couldn't work out a way how to counter-press as a team. I seriously would be baffled. And honestly, you wouldn't counter-press 90 minutes full on. You look for triggers. You look for the right time when to get the opposition. Bottom line, Cristiano Ronaldo is not some sort of a dummy. Do you know what I mean? You have to figure out ways how to make do. And as I said, for a short-term contract, why not? What do we have to lose for the time being? There are no other strikers in the market that we can go for that would actually want to come to us. This is why I wanted Gabriel Jesus. But he's gone. He's gone to Arsenal. Yeah, while it is tempting to dream about a Thiago Silva level impact, it is more realistic to assume that paying 480k a week to incorporate another non-industrious forward in the front line would be a major risk. This is not an anchor that would hold the ship steady in a storm. It could end up weighing it down during a fair wind. Look, let's talk about the wages now. He's got 1 year left in Man United. Man United's in the mud. He wants to leave Man United, and Man United know that this player wants to go as well. So they're in the mud, much like we were in the mud with Romelu Lukaku. Now we have to come to a compromise. We took an L in regards to Romelu Lukaku. They're going to have to take an L as well. The best scenario that I can see, probably in this situation, is perhaps a season loan. Yeah, Man United's going to lose the player at the end of the season, but as I said, you're screwed. You're going to have to take the L. We give Man United a loan fee, and then we negotiate in terms of who pays how much of the wages. You're going to have to bear some of the wages. You've stuffed up. You're going to have to bear some of the wages. I think from that standpoint, I completely see that, making sense. I wouldn't go out there and buy him and give him a 2-year, 3-year contract. And I don't think that's actually even possible to buy him. I know he's on a 1-year contract and he may not cost a lot, but still, I just don't think that's a feasible scenario to think about. I wouldn't give Cristiano Ronaldo more than 12 months contract. But that's a little bit about that whole scenario, ladies and gentlemen. I would literally entertain this for a short-term period. There is no doubt he would bang in goals for Chelsea Football Club, and we would have to find a way how to get the best out of him within the team. Yes, there is concerns about pressing, but I'm pretty sure someone like Thomas Tuchel, a top-notch manager, would have a way to accommodate for a player like Cristiano Ronaldo. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what your thoughts are in regards to this particular player. I'm all down for this. However, having said that, with this particular player comes a different news in terms of Armando Broja. Sources: Everton made a proposal to Chelsea for Armando Broja weeks ago. Proposal is 25 million base fee with 5 million European qualification bonus. I don't know what they're talking about. European, like as in Conference League or Europa League. You're nowhere near that situation, Everton. Same response from Chelsea. Thomas Tuchel likes Broja and wants to assess him in preseason. You best believe if someone like Cristiano Ronaldo comes in, I think it will push Armando Broja out, but I would like to keep him. 5 subs, Armando Broja could learn from Cristiano Ronaldo. Can you imagine the impact coming off the bench? You take Cristiano off, someone like Broja comes in, and all of a sudden the energy lift. And he will get game time. Cristiano Ronaldo won't play every single game at the age of 37, even though he's so damn fit and he barely gets injured. There is no way he's going to be playing every single match. But in this particular situation, I think something could be brewing here. Armando Broja has been linked with Newcastle, West Ham, and so many other teams. There could be a fact here that Armando Broja himself probably thinks about leaving Chelsea Football Club to get full-time sort of regular game time elsewhere. So Chelsea could entertain if this was 25 million, if this raised to about 30 million, perhaps. And it makes sense from a Everton point of view as well. They've lost Richarlison, so they're looking for a striker. Frank Lampard knows Chelsea Football Club. I would like it to be a loan. Honestly, a loan scenario in this makes complete sense to me. If he goes out on a loan, one more loan to a Premier League club, to Everton, I'm okay with that. And if it's a sell, let's look for a buyback. How much would be the buyback? You got to make it a little bit interesting for Everton as well. You're going to have to say maybe 45 million, 50 million buyback, but that's a little bit about the Armando Broja news. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to this particular news, the De Ligt situation, which is absolutely blowing up at the moment in social media. I really hope we don't screw this up, ladies and gentlemen. Bayern Munich into the conversation, and this is what happens when you dilly-dally around too much. And I know this was a complex scenario, but we need to go in there and just finalize this, give them what they want, negotiate, and they're interested with some of our players as well. So let's do a deal both ways and net the situation out. Christian Falks, true. Matthijs de Ligt told Juventus that he wants a transfer to Bayern Munich. Juve and Bayern are now in contact, but Bayern won't pay the requested amount of 70 million. Bayern Munich want to sign De Ligt. Talks with Nagelsmann impressed him. Talks are going well. 60 to 80 million fee, euros. Chelsea are in constant contact for De Ligt. Whoever offers Juve the highest will get him. Juventus asked for Pulisic, and Chelsea replied with no. I don't know why we are replying with no. Maybe the fact that we just don't have that many wingers left, with Ziyech leaving as well, and we're not getting Dembele and Rafinha. It makes sense that we want to keep Pulisic, but why not Timo Werner? Why not Jorginho as well? Do you know what I mean? But this is a perfect case for Juventus. Now, enticing Bayern Munich to come in to create a bit of a bidding war. But we need defenders. We need defenders. This is a place where you'd have to probably throw some money. And you can't be, I suppose, cheap about this situation. We've lost Rudiger and Christensen, and quite possibly we'll lose Azpilicueta, Alonso as well. We need defenders. We need to throw the money and get these players in and to look for elsewhere to balance the book. I just hope we don't screw this up. I really hope we don't screw this up, because he would fit Bayern Munich. 100% De Ligt would fit Bayern Munich style of football. Chelsea have held talks with President Kimpembe, De Ligt, Koundé, and Eke. Look, Eke is very much a massive shout that could happen. Kimpembe I would love him on the left side as opposed to Eke. But I suppose if De Ligt doesn't happen, you can look at Kimpembe, Eke, and Koundé deal is apparently still on the cards. I honestly don't think that is, but I hope he is. I would love Koundé, but it seems like Thomas Tuchel is maybe not keen anymore, but we'll see what happens. Ladies and gentlemen, that covers all the latest. It's heavily on Cristiano Ronaldo. Let me know what you think. Honestly, that is the big highlight of today in terms of Chelsea transfer news, but also the De Ligt situation. Let me know how you feel about that. Smash the like button. If you're here for the first time, subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. I shall see you guys for a live tomorrow, sometime 10:30, 11 a.m. UK. But yeah, man, I'm okay with Cristiano for a short term. Let me know how you feel.